Good morning and welcome to Just Ask Freeman TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I am sitting with Freeman Owen Jr. Freeman, good morning. How are you?
Good morning to you, and thank you for having me
Well,
right
thank
here.
you for having me. It's always such a pleasure for us to be together on the show because the topic is, of course, Just Ask Freeman. And so we're getting a lot of amazing viewer calls that are coming in. I know that you've had not only your website go crazy, but also people coming into the office. They want to meet you. They want to sit with you. We've talked about coming in, having a cup of coffee, because you're basically helping them to navigate through the retirement years, if you will, which can sometimes be a little scary and trepidatious for some.
It is. I know that we've had a couple of shows there. We talked about Social Security.
Yes.
And that's important. I'd like to, today, there was a couple of questions in reference to receiving your Social Security benefits. One specific question was, I'm a divorced person. Is it possible to receive my ex-spouse's benefits?
Yes, that was a great question that came in, and we didn't have time to tackle that last week. So let's start with that this week, Freeman.
Okay. Well, it depends on the amount of the Social Security benefit. There's a possibility if the individual is married to the ex-spouse for at least 10 years. I won't elaborate extensively on that.
Okay.
I'll just give a little teaser out here a little bit here. But if you'd like to know a little bit more about the spousal benefit, and we'll talk about the survivor benefit as well, but the spousal benefit and your divorced person, there's an opportunity there that you need to just ask Freeman about. Just ask Freeman. You can call us and schedule a complimentary consultation at 1-833-414-7233.
Absolutely.
And something else too. There was a call in. They wanted to find out why are Americans so far behind in their savings.
Yes. Why is that, Freeman? Is it because we know we should be saving so much? Well, they always tell us to. Uncle Sam says, save this, save that. But is it sometimes not enough? What happens?
Well, a lot of folks have prioritized their savings in other areas. And also, there was a lady who's concerned about school loans.
Yeah.
That is taking a big, heavy chunk out of their income-producing assets.
Okay.
All right. And those who are receiving Social Security have children and grandchildren who own school loans. So you wonder and say, well, how does that impact this grandmom, this granddad, who's paying out these monies for the grandchildren and children's school loans? Devastating. Now, folks, if you want to know more, all right, how you can conserve your Social Security benefit, when to receive it, how to file for it, how to maximize that benefit, and let's talk about it. That's a big burden now that takes a big chunk out of people's income.
Sure.
And you have retirees who have Social Security. We can see that their income-producing assets are beginning to deplete.
Okay.
So just ask Freeman, you want to know how to minimize the tax bite on your, Social Security, we have to pay taxes on the distribution, on the benefit. Come to our office, get your complimentary consultation. Ring us at 1-833-414-7233. That's 1-833-414-SAFE. And also, I have the book. Remember I promised I was going to get you?
Yes.
Well, I got a reprint for you.
Oh, good.
Okay, which brings us to, I just want to talk a little bit about the Secure Act.
Okay, please. Yeah, because that's a lot of hot topic right now as well, the Secure Act.
Exactly. So I think I'll swing to that because right now, I know that next year we're preparing to talk about 401ks, required minimum distributions.
Yes.
All right. Well, the Secure Act now has extended the age. At 70 and a half, we used to have to take a mandatory withdrawal each and every year, RMD. Now it's 72. Now, folks, again, I'll invite you to just ask Freeman, come into our office, Sit down, we'll have a nice cup of coffee. I'm going to have a personalized cup for you too, folks. And a complimentary book on the 10 IRA mistakes and the 10 tax traps that are associated with that mistake. Now, we don't have enough time on the show to elaborate on extensively about the Secure Act now, and a lot of folks just don't know that that went into effect January of this year.
Yes, we had talked about that you were in was it a party situation? You were somewhere that you were out in a group of people, perhaps it was a restaurant, and you had people come up to you that actually said, Freeman, I wasn't even aware that there was this act that was in place. I mean, that must have been pretty surprising for you to hear.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I also gave a presentation on, gave a Social Security workshop.
Okay.
I asked 80 people one evening and 65 people the previous evening, do you know about the Secure Act and how it can impact you? No. Then I said, well, look, you need to talk to me. Just ask Freeman.
That's all it is.
Let's discuss the details of the Secure Act. How does it impact your Social Security? How does it impact your income producing assets? What does it do to your children? The legacy that you have for your kids and your grandchildren. So, folks, justaskfreeman.com. Well, I put it that way. That's my website. Just Ask Freeman. Contact us toll free at 1-833-414-7233. I had to laugh at that myself. 1-833-414-SAFE. Get your complimentary consultation. Complimentary book I have for you, the 10 IRA mistakes and how to avoid the tax traps that are associated with it.
Absolutely. And Freeman, I can't believe it, but it's time for our first commercial break. To the viewing audience at home, please stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to ask Freeman more questions about retirement. That number to call again is 833-414-7233. We'll be back after this quick commercial break.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back to Just Ask Freeman TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I am sitting with Freeman Owen Jr. himself. It's always so much fun for us to be together.
Just ask Freeman. That's all I can say.
We're asking some great questions.
Yes, we are.
Providing some great information, obviously, to the viewing audience, and we're having fun while doing so. I think the viewing audience can definitely pick up on that we genuinely enjoy, talking and what we're speaking of.
Yeah.
And we've been spending so much time on Social Security. So, Freeman, I have a question that I think a lot of people have been thinking about at home. So if they've started to, let's say they're on unemployment, can you collect Social Security while being on unemployment? Is that something that is an option?
Well, see, that's a good question. Most of the time, I'm helping clients who are not unemployed.
Okay.
And the thing is, I'd have to do a little research on that. and then you can just ask Freeman.
I thought that was a great question
that
because
is
it's
a
not something that
fantastic
I had
question.
thought about before, but we're having these viewer
Yeah.
questions come in and we never, it's like when the lottery balls line up and you don't know what number is going to be next. That's what these questions are like. So I thought that
Sometimes
was
we
a
get
really good one.
Some tough questions too at
Yep.
times that we have to think about there. I'm glad you're my partner on this show that kind of lines things up here, and I see that you have provided some great questions for us, even try to stump us. But when you just ask Freeman, we have the answers. Get your complimentary consultation. Get your complimentary text. The 10 IRA mistakes, all right, and the tax traps that are associated with those mistakes. All righty. So we covered Social Security, some
Okay.
of the mistakes and errors that people make. We're getting ready to shift now because we're going to discuss income producing assets, and also we'll look at the 401k, the employer
Yes.
sponsored retirement accounts.
Yes, because Freeman, we know in the past that so often when people worked a job, let's just say 30 to 40 years, a lot of people enjoyed a pension. Well,
Yeah.
we don't see a lot of pensions anymore, and now those are being replaced by the 401k. Would that be true?
Oh yeah, we can look at what 1980. About 89% of the companies offered a pension.
Okay.
Alrighty. Today, 7.5% offered a pension. Folks, what do we have? Employer-sponsored retirement accounts, 401ks, TSPs, 403bs. If you want to a complimentary consultation on getting your complimentary report on Social Security, understanding the distribution rules for your employer-sponsored retirement accounts, just ask Freeman.
Yeah.
I always say that.
Yeah, that's all we have to do is just ask Freeman.
Ask Freeman. Call us at 1-833-414-7233. That's 1-833-414-SAFE. Just ask Freeman. Come by, sit down, let's talk.
Absolutely.
Like I said, always have a cup of coffee with you.
Yep.
You'll smell those fresh brownies.
Yep. Got to have a brownie.
Yep. And we just sit there and talk and address your concerns. What's that number again? 1-833-414-7233. Just ask Freeman. Again, 1-833-414-7233. Get your complimentary Social Security report, a complimentary analysis.
Absolutely.
That's right, on your employer-sponsored retirement accounts.
Absolutely. And Freeman, I want to ask you a question because we've seen just as a whole, people are living longer. So how is that changing the advice that you're providing to your clients now?
Well, we have to look at, since longevity is the key here, and making sure our money's last.
Okay.
I am, it's just so lucky to have so many clients coming now that has been referred.
Sure.
You understand, Freeman, you know how to help us with our assets so that we'll have a lifetime income.
Yeah.
Well, we see that the life expectancy has increased. There's a 50% chance of making it to age 85 if you're a lady.
Okay.
65. A man has a 50% chance to get to reach age 82.
Okay.
Well, along the way, what do we have to encounter? Inflation,
Sure.
increased health costs,
Sure.
skilled care.
Yeah.
Well, folks, just ask Freeman. That's all you need.
Yeah.
You come to see us at the office, sit down, and we can discuss how your income producing assets, along supplementing your Social Security,
Yep.
and we can discuss the distribution rules for your employer-sponsored retirement accounts. It has to last. Your monies have to last your lifetime.
Well, Freeman, I think that would be the biggest fear that most people have, especially approaching the retirement age. They're afraid that they're going to outlive their money. And without having the diversified streams, the buckets, if you will, that can be a very scary thought for most people. And you're able to help guide in the right direction.
I always say, just ask Freeman.
Just ask Freeman.
Cynthia, you just ask Freeman. Again, that number is 1-833-414-7233. Come on in and see us. Sit down and talk. I mean, a lot of us boomers, put it that way, are concerned about running out of money.
Yes, absolutely.
And they make terrible mistakes when it comes to their employer-sponsored retirement accounts,
Sure.
their IRAs. Get our complimentary book, Just Ask Freeman. The complimentary book is entitled The 10 IRA Mistakes and How to Avoid the Costly Traps That Are Associated with Them. Again, that number is 1-833-414-7233, 1-833-414-SAFE. All right.
Freeman, you have such a passion for helping people, and that comes through every week when we are together. And
I
know
love it.
the response has been amazing. Like we talked when we opened the show, just to see all of the response. People are coming in, they're talking with you, and they're gaining very valuable knowledge. So I guess the best question that I can ask you is, where does that come from? Why do you have such a passion for helping others?
Well, just like I'm doing this show,
Yep.
it's fun to do. It's exciting, and you see life changes in the people in your market that you help. I mean, literally, life changes.
Absolutely.
And they did ask Freeman. You asked Just Ask Freeman too, because you can reach us at 1-833-414-7233, and you'll see this passion and the concern for your well-being and your particular interest. And I just love it. It's great work.
It's rewarding.
It's rewarding.
Yeah.
And you get a chance to meet some very interesting people and form friendships and relationships that last for decades.
Absolutely. Well, and you mentioned that actually in one of our prior weeks, that you had just attended a birthday party where you had two people there that were 100 years old.
100
which
years
is
old.
Just, that's
Been
amazing.
clients of mine for over 30 years.
Yeah, so you've helped multiple generations, I'm assuming, within that family.
I sure did.
Yeah.
Not only did they just ask Freeman, the sons, daughters, and grandchildren, again, just ask Freeman. And we had prepared the inherited IRA prior to the Secure Act this year. They're grandfathered in so that the legacies from these two 100-year-old people pass on to their children, their grandchildren, and all the great-grandchildren. So yes, Just Ask Freeman, I do have a passion for that, because I saw where this lady told me at one time, she says, well, Freeman, what am I going to do with all this money?
Yeah.
And I had the answer. And I'll have the answer for you. Just ask Freeman if you're concerned about keeping your retirement dollars intact, supplementing your Social Security, avoiding costly IRA distribution mistakes and employer-sponsored retirement distribution mistakes. Just ask Freeman. Call us today, 1-833-414-SAFE, 1-833-414-7233.
And I think it's important to mention, too, that people are going to be actually sitting with you when they come into an office. It's not going to be anyone else. It's going to be the person that they're seeing every week on TV. Exactly.
They will see me. I don't need a surrogate pushing someone there.
Yeah.
And for the most part, about 100% of the people they say, well, we can just ask Freeman. He has the expertise. Yes, I do. We'll sit down. You will not have a replacement in there or a surrogate that comes in. Then I come and see you on the second or third visit. No.
Yeah.
You will talk to me. And that number is 1-833-414-7233. Get your complimentary consultation. That's all you have to do. And I mentioned to you a couple of segments ago, I said that I had that text.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
what I'm going to do is the first 10 folks right now, call us at 1-833-414-7233. We'll expedite that copy for you. Have it there. Already got the reprints ready with the new act.
That's fantastic. Oh, Freeman. And as I'm sitting here talking with you and the number is on the screen, the phone lines are lighting up. So to our viewing audience, we're going to take a quick commercial break. The number to call is 833-414-7233. We'll be back with more Just Ask Freeman TV. Don't go away. We'll see you soon.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back to Just Ask Freeman TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. I am sitting with Freeman Owen Jr. and we have had such a fun show today. We were laughing during the commercial break because we never know what's coming. With live TV, you just never know what's coming.
You just don't know.
And you make a mistake, you just roll with it, which is great. But I think one of the things I also want to talk about, kind of going into more of a serious segue, if you will, Freeman, is that you're at a point in your life right now where you as an individual, you don't need to do this, but you want to do this. You want to help others. So to the viewing audience, can you explain a little bit more about that, why you want to do it?
Well, let me quote this. I always say I'm not the type of person in this business scuffing and scraping. And I mean that. I didn't have anyone to help or to, even though I'm educated, I didn't have anyone to share with me or my wife as that concerns. We were coming up as young professionals, even how to file for Social Security and prepare for that. We had to learn this, and this business has been good to us because the learning curve went straight up. And folks, some of the challenges that you're having when it comes to your retirement income planning, just ask Freeman. I'll be right there for you when it comes to your pension income, discussing your Social Security benefits, to consider the lifestyle changes as you prepare for retirement.
Sure.
But yes, I love it. This is a fantastic opportunity to apply my skills, and folks can tell that you really enjoy what you do and having a tremendous amount of success. And all it was is that folks want to know, just ask Freeman. Call us at 1-833-414-7233 about your retirement income concerns. We cover the entire spectrum, from Social Security to pension income to other income producing assets to employer-sponsored retirement accounts.
So Freeman, for the viewing audience at home, and they're trying to plan their day, if you will, how long is that consultation with you when they first come in? The very first visit, how long does that typically take?
No more than an hour.
Okay.
They're relaxed. We make you feel right at home.
Okay.
And they're kicked back, relaxed, and then I focus. It's all about them.
Sure.
And they just ask Freeman, well, Freeman, how does such and such work? How does the traditional IRA and 401, what's the difference between the 401k and traditional IRA withdrawals?
And the Roth, that's a big one now.
And the Roth, that's a major thing now.
Yeah.
Converting the traditional IRA into to the Roth.
Yeah.
And their rules. You want to know, folks? Just ask Freeman so that you can avoid a costly mistake converting a traditional IRA into a Roth IRA.
Sure.
And that number is 1-833-414-7233, 833-414-SAFE. And I'll repeat that number, 1-833-414-7233. If you really want to know, just ask Freeman. Have a tremendous amount of information for you, and get your complimentary consultation, get your complimentary text, the 10 IRA mistakes, and the tax traps that are associated with them.
Sure.
All righty. So we have a little time left.
Well,
I know
Freeman,
that
I
you
want to
have-
ask you,
yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Go
I know
ahead.
that the folks at home are probably wondering the same thing. What kind of documents do they need to bring with them on their first consultation with you?
You know, basically all they need, and I have it listed in one of the booklets that I provide for the client, but they can bring their Social Security statement
Okay,
because they want to know when to file and how to file for their Social Security.
sure. That's a big question.
Then, after that, there's 2 or either 3 visits. They will bring other income-producing asset documents with them, and we do the review and answer the questions concerning their retirement income. And in blending in, and it's only an hour.
Okay,
That's it. Right there to an hour, and sometimes even shorter.
okay,
Because just ask Freeman, they asked me, and they are very happy about the fact that they have an opportunity to get a report
sure.
that will spell out, so Cynthia, they'll know when to file. You'll
Yeah,
be surprised at the number of people that take bad counsel.
Sure.
And you say, well, it's simple to get your Social Security report. No, it's not. Your statement. It's simple to know distribution rules with employer-sponsored retirement accounts. No, it's not. Just ask Freeman. And what we can help do, Cynthia, call us at 1-833-414-7233, 1-833-414-SAFE, and get your complimentary consultation. Get your complimentary text, the 10 IRA mistakes, how to avoid the costly tax traps that are associated with those errors. I tell you.
Absolutely. And again, the guidance that you're providing is something that I would consider completely invaluable because you cannot put a price tag on someone's comfort level when you're approaching retirement.
Exactly.
And Freeman, we only have like a quick less than a minute left, but is it ever too late to start planning for those years?
Well, all I have to do is, I've said over and over again, just ask Freeman. Call us at 1-833-414-SAFE, 1-833-414-7233. And looks like that time, the clock on the wall is telling us something
I
there.
know, we're running out of time.
Yes.
Well, to the viewing audience at home, please, that number again is 833-414-7233. I know that you're looking forward to meeting Freeman. He is as delightful in person as you're watching on the show. So don't miss an opportunity to sit with him, have a cup of coffee and a nice warm brownie. Again, that number is 833-414-7233. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you again next week. Have a blessed week.